Finino, president of the Brooklyn Aquarium Society, and this is my home. I'd like to show you the fish room we built.
From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough with the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh!
Take the ready, and I'll describe the soundproofing of the wall.
All right, we're ready.
All right. This is a wall I had built to enclose my fish room. I made this a soundproof wall and waterproof wall because this way it doesn't disturb anything that's going on out here. Should the occasion arise where this wall needs to come down, the floor and everything else matches the other room exactly. So you could just take this wall down and it goes right through as if the wall was never up here before.
Oh, okay.
I've got insulation in the wall. I've got Duracrete sheets on the bottom so that in case the fish tanks break, it doesn't come through the wall.
Oh, the wall is,
waterproof.
waterproof too? Oh, see, I wouldn't even thought of that.
Right?
That's a good idea.
Another thing I think of.
All right, so now we're going to go on into...
I have LED lighting in the room.
All right.
I think it's easy to put an LED lighting than it is to put lights on all the fish tanks.
Oh, okay.
The fish don't need the lights.
Oh, interesting.
The fish person needs the lights.
So let me see how you ran that. I may have to do that in my room.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Okay. So now these in the ceiling are LEDs?
These are two 2x2s.
And they're LEDs?
And a 1x2, all LEDs.
Oh, that's interesting.
So these should last for
And it's
about
pretty bright
20
now.
years or whatever. Yeah, it gives off a lot of light.
I should have saw you a year ago. You know what my electric bill was with all the lighting in that place?
Actually, my electric bill is relatively cheap, believe it or not, as is my water bill. On this rack, this is my, what I call regular water tank. It's a pH of about 7.0, basically maybe hardness of about 3. And I have a lot of my mostly South American cichlids in this.
Okay, just on this wall here?
On this wall, yeah.
Now,
Goes up to this sump.
Now all of these tanks are plumbed together?
All of these tanks on the top, except for the small one. And I have the one on the bottom. This is a 12-gallon tank on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
That's not part of the system.
All right, so how many is about 10 tanks?
There's 4 15s on top, 2 15s and a 20 long and a 5. And then a 12 on the bottom, that's a 30-gallon for the sump.
Oh, okay. Now, what are you doing for filtration here?
Okay.
I'm going to walk over here for a minute because I want to see it myself.
There's an ultraviolet sterilizer
Okay.
we have on this tank. Solves most of the algae problem, except for the planted tanks. Every now and then that gets a little crazy.
Okay.
The sump is situated with this bag of charcoal, a bag of ammonia chips that I keep on the bottom.
Okay.
This is ammo ball, ammo balls and stuff, bio balls rather. I keep the sheets on top to collect most of it. And there's a sponge filter on the inside. I also keep another sponge filter inside the tank in the event that I need it for if I need to shut things down and I need another tank to have a second filter.
Oh, okay.
All of the tanks have corner filters, different sizes depending on the tank, depending on what's in there. These are baby green Texas cichlids in this one, as is, I like to split them up. So in case I have a tank crash,
That's a good idea.
not everything's in one tank. This is obviously a lot of plants, this one, and this one, and this one. In this tank I have Crobia oranzingus. That's a South American cichlid that's a little hard to come by.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, right. Okay, I said it once slow. Cherry barbs, I got a couple of gold barbs in here. In this tank I use for hatching killifish eggs.
Was that a
Annual
2-gallon
killifish.
tank?
2.5. 2.5. But I could set up, I have others. I have 5s and 10s that I need. If I need to put it up, I could just run another air line
Oh, okay.
hose out of it. Everything on the airline tubing is labeled, so I'll know at a glance what tank it goes to, top tank, bottom tank. I even have them going into the sump. In the event the sump stops, the oxygen will still keep the bacteria alive. That's important. So this way, when you start it back up, if it's gone for a day or whatever, for where the pump goes down, I still have that.
So I noticed you have the drain in the floor, which is a lifesaver to anybody that is not crazy like me that does not have a drain in the floor. Have you ever had the need to use this drain?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
On occasions, I've had to use this. This is my reverse osmosis tank here.
All right, let me spin
And
around.
this keeps, for acidic water fish such as killies, wild bettas, things of that nature that require that. Discus, which I have plenty of discus in the tank.
Yeah, I get
I
100
need that.
million questions about people wanting to keep discus.
Ah,
And yeah, we just had Discus Hans at our last meeting,
Yep.
and he was talking all about the water preparation and the water parameters needed to keep discus. So now you just keep this as a refill tank,
this
or
is
is
just,
that
yeah,
the?
this is just a refill tank. This is between 4, this is 4.78 at last check. It runs between 4 and 5. And every now and then I have an overflow. So I have the unit in the back. You'll see the unit when we go with the other side.
okay.
But there's the reverse osmosis unit, which filters that, and there's a float valve
Oh, okay, I see that there.
that keeps it from overflowing.
Yeah, we were talking about that before, the float valves. And I actually, while we're on that subject, I spoke to one of the manufacturers of the RO units. I spoke to someone at Bulk Reef Supply, and they were talking about the various water pressures in different areas, which contribute to people run into problems where the float valves don't shut off the water.
Yeah.
And you have the wastewater continuously running.
Right.
So one of the things that people might want to look for is the water pressure in their area. Like it may vary from area to area.
I don't use it that way. I use it where it's hooked up, and once this is filled, I shut it off.
That's what I've been doing.
I have a close-off valve,
Gotcha.
so I'm not constantly wasting. For every 1 gallon you get, you waste 5.
Yeah.
So,
And I noticed in the wintertime, we had probably maybe one of these really hard winters. I didn't have that problem. It stopped. So it may be the varying water pressure outside changing, serving the house. I noticed I hadn't shut it off and the water had stopped. But I stuck with your model and turned that
Yeah,
valve
I'd rather
off.
I'd rather
So
turn it off.
putting
I'd
those
rather-
RO units, make sure you put a
I'd rather
shut-off
have it-
valve.
Yes, have it manual.
A manual, not everything automatic.
No, it doesn't work too well. These are Gudeids. I have Gudeids in here. Gudeids in here, and they're sharing the tank with high fin panda cories.
Oh, wow, we had a
Which,
few of those.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in the back. I don't know if you can see them too well.
You got a lot of fry here.
Yeah. You know, they're quite
Prolific?
prolific. Yeah.
Now, where are the parents?
Most of the parents I share with other people in different clubs.
Now, those guppies?
They're like guppies. They're Gudeids.
The Gudeids.
Yeah, the bigger ones in here, smaller ones in there.
Okay.
And this tank is the Crobia Zingo Orange Gienensis. I have a breeding pair here, a breeding pair here. There's a female. There's a male in the back there. And I got another breeding pair in here.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see peeking out the back there. Hello.
They never cooperate, do they?
They're all divas. Ah, discus.
The discus are here.
Hey,
Also,
look, anybody want to keep jellyfish? There you go, jellyfish
Nice.
with discus. I love to
discus.
see those artificial jellyfish there.
I keep, again, I use a couple of corner filters. In this corner filter, I also keep bag of ammonia chips going through the air process.
So now this tank is just run off of those quarter filters?
Yep.
Wow.
And I do water changes weekly with my discus tanks.
Okay, about how much you take out?
I do about 50%
Oh,
of both tanks.
And that's with that 4.0, like the lower pH water?
This I'm keeping this at about 6.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and this one's keeping about 6.85 at 86 degrees.
I like the fact that you keep a note on there.
Yeah, I try to.
Because
Yeah,
I would
just
not
when I
remember.
know what I'm, you know, what I'm
86
doing.
degrees, wow.
Yeah.
So
And
they
there's,
like
believe it or
that.
not, there's like a half a dozen in there, a little larger size. These I got from Jeff Bolback. The orange one you see was from Discus Hans. There's 2 of them in there. The other one never decides to pop his head up. I got a 30-gallon here I'm using as a spare right now. That's a 30-gallon tank with nothing in it. This is the what do you call that? The takes the humidity out of it.
Oh,
Dehumidifier.
Oh, I thought you had beer in there. I thought that was a refrigerator.
No, that's over there. I'll make sure I have plenty of that, though. That's very important to have. Okay.
Wow.
This are goldfish. And I'm going to be putting in some goldfish we got. These are, we got a couple of dragon fins in
Oh,
there.
wow. That's a beaut. So he's going into the pond.
Yep. There's a couple of them there. They think it's eating time, so that's why they're out. And I got a couple more in here. They always stay in the back. Very pretty fish.
Yeah, nice. I see. And these are just 10-gallon tanks.
Yeah, and these are Cory Pelliatus in this one. It's Cory Pelliatus.
Oh, there they go. There you go.
This here I have some live bearers. These are Geordensis falcatus, which is a live bearer.
I noticed you got these tops on that versus the glass. I kind of
Yeah.
started getting away from that glass myself.
These are great. You can go to Home Depot and pick this up, a 3-foot by 3-foot sheet for about, I don't know, maybe $8-10, and you cut it down. You can cut it with scissors,
Yeah, perfect.
and it doesn't bend, it doesn't warp, and it's great for keeping in, you know, the water. You can see how wet it is
Condensation,
underneath.
Yeah.
You know, so that it holds pretty well.
And you got no lights over those tanks anyway. They'll just lit
They
when the
don't. Yeah,
room's
they don't
lit
need lights.
for the fry.
Fish don't need
things.
lights. Again, I've got another air bar across the back that's labeled.
Okay, yeah.
When I started doing this, I was using the larger, like say 3/4 of an inch
The valves.
aerator, the air valves.
Yeah.
And when I went to this, they stopped making them.
That's always a blessing.
Right.
When you go to look for it, now you
I had to
gotta
go
change
for
your
a
plan.
half-inch one, you know. But you can always, like, you know, you can always jury rig it. Like, as I needed an extra one here, so I have one going here, and then I just
And then
split
shut
off
down.
of that
Oh, good.
into doing other things.
Wow.
I do the same thing here. I use various hatcheries. I hook this up with a separate hatchery. Sometimes I put a hatchery in here. If I need eggs, I got egg hatcheries in here. If I need like a fry, just to keep the fries going, I can put them in there, and just whatever tank they go in, it seems to be.
Everybody looks
Cool.
happy.
Yeah.
All right.